Hi everyone, today is October 3rd, 2025, and this is a reading that I'm going to do for you today. If it resonates, definitely allow yourself to take that in, reflect on it, and see how that energy may be playing out in your life today. If it doesn't resonate, feel free to leave it, but do know and trust that if you are here and you've come across this video, there is something valuable for you here. And so, I'm going to go ahead and open up today's reading with an oracle card. I'm going to ask for the message that wants to come through for all who come across this video today. I feel like today's reading is definitely going to be one about relationships. And in a sense, everything is a relationship in our life. We relate to people, experiences, things in different ways. So let's see what we've got here. So the icosahedron presented itself reversed. And so in relationship to relationships, this has a lot to do with a lack of perspective, or a perspective that is narrowed. So there's a disconnect in being able to see a connection and feel a connection, because there are unhealed trauma and wounds that are blocking you from seeing and understanding that you are actually connected to this experience, to this person, that you are actually supposed to be here experiencing this particular part of your life. I'm gonna pull. This is interesting. We've got the lesson, like I was saying, and I think this lesson, and it presented itself reversed as well, is actually the center of this pool. So you're not finding the lesson here because you have narrowed your focus based on past events and trauma and experiences that you've had before, that is influencing the way that you see what is presenting itself right now. So you can't see what's being presented because of past influences. And that's okay, because that's the whole reason you're having this experience, is just so that you can move past this and you can start creating something that you have been asking for. And now we've got the dodecahedron coming up, and what you've been asking for is wanting to come together once you shift that perspective and be able to see this experience from a higher point of view. Now, if you are listening to this message and you immediately resonate with the experience you're having, then great. I'm going to dive deeper into it. If you're not quite sure what is sticking out for you yet, I think the message is going to come clear. It's going to become more clear, so stick around. I'm going to pull some tarot cards on this opening, and we can sort of dive into the lesson that this experience is wanting to teach us. So this is definitely a pattern, a cycle that continues to play out in your life in relationship to relationships. This could be a relationship to even wanting to reach your goals, and how you continue to cycle and pick things up and put them down and not be able to follow through and complete. If this is resonating with you on a more like intimate relationship level, this has to do with wanting to be open and receptive to the person you are in relationship with, but shutting down, and you're starting to notice, but you don't know what else to do because that's all you've done. Okay, so we've got the Nine of Wands, which is definitely, it's a lack of creativity right now. There's a lack of passion because of your narrowed focus. When you narrow your focus, disallow your opportunity to see the creativity and passion that exists in that experience and really within every moment. Now, when you ask, when you are presented with something that feels uncomfortable, new, different, or even cyclical, something that you dread when you see, you're like, oh, here we go again, to ask for, or to ask to see the love, passion, and creativity that exists in that moment and then flow into whatever presents itself next is the key to changing old cycles and the key to stepping into the unknown with courage. Okay. So we've got the Knight of Cups, which is an offering that's wanting to, like I said, the lesson, the offering here is the lesson and being able to see things differently. So asking to see things, to be presented the passion and love and creativity that exists in this experience that's challenging you right now, you're going to be able to see the offer that is being presented, that is being put on your table. So that you will be able to create a new version of yourself and of your life, really. And everything begins with you and how you see yourself. And I think that's the key lesson here is through this experience, you're going to be able to see yourself in a completely different way. Now, I have a feeling this has a lot to do with insecurities and second guessing yourself, more specifically, second guessing your intuition. And if that is you, this is your key to start sinking in and flowing into this experience that is making you feel uncomfortable so that you can get closer to yourself and open up your intuitive channels. Now, I'm going to pull guidance cards on this. I'm going to ask for guidance moving forward. It feels like there's a lot of passion and creativity that is stuck here, that's wanting to unravel and reveal itself to you. And so being very aware right now will be the key. Awareness and action. Okay, so seeing the true you, like I was saying, when you go through this experience, you'll be able to see yourself through a different lens, from a different perspective. You're going to experience yourself on a completely different level if you allow this experience to teach you. And how do you do that? You just trust and flow and go with the flow. Trust and go with the flow, and try not to resist what's being presented. Kind of do some reflecting today on how you always shut this particular cycle down, and instead choose to take those old ways of resisting and be more receptive. Allow yourself to be more receptive. Practice receptivity. When you practice receptivity, you make space for the universe to show you that anything is possible. And I feel like that's what you've been looking for, is meaning, wanting to know that you live in a magical place and you have a magical life, and that if you just begin to see yourself through a different, higher perspective, that magic is going to be able to unravel and show you your possibilities, what is possible for you, because I know intuitively you know that and have been searching for that in different ways. Now, yep, she feels she knows, so definitely start quieting your mind so that you can start hearing and tuning into those intuitive hits. They're very subtle and quiet right now, but through this experience, your intuition is going to get a chance to speak louder, and you will be able to build this trusting relationship with yourself and with God. Last card. What do you feel? And so I feel like this is definitely the work that needs to be done right now. What needs to be done is this reflective self-awareness check-in as you go through this cyclical experience, stopping and asking yourself, okay, not just what do you feel, but why are you feeling this way? And is this how you want to continue to feel? Because when you practice these questions, answering these questions, you begin to realize that you get to choose. You don't have to fall into the same old negative frequencies that you've allowed yourself to fall into. And you know, a lot of us do this because it's momentous. You can feel the energy of something you've done over and over again. And just because something feels momentous and there's a lot of energy behind it doesn't mean it's the thing that you should continue doing. And so discernment is going to be the key for you too moving forward. But to keep this plain and simple, take the time to reflect on how you are going through this cycle in your life. Reflect on the cycle in general. Reflect on how it makes you feel and how you've been resisting it. And reflect on how you have narrowed your focus to keep yourself safe. Then allow yourself to trust whatever happens next and bring your presence to every moment, because it's within that presence that the universe can show you what is possible. And there's definitely something that wants to be revealed. So give yourself to this moment, because there's something for you. There's something for you here. I hope you have a great day.